everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Wealth Advisory's Top Stocks to Buy. I'm Jason Williams, your host, and we're on to August 2022. Amazingly, it was an incredible July. After like the roughest first half of the year since basically the Great Depression, we had just like the best start to the second half of the year that we've seen in almost as many years. The S&P 500 finished up 8.22%. The NASDAQ was up 11.79, almost 12%. The Dow even popped up 5.57%. It was huge. But what was huger was our average gain. We averaged a 13.01% gain, beating even the NASDAQ, which was running up the charts like a scalded dog, to go back to my Cecil County roots there. We had Generac Holdings in there. It had a 25% gain. Centrus Energy, 27%. Albemarle, 21%. Freeport McMoran, it was lagging the markets the entire month, and this past week it shot from a 1% gain to a 12% gain. Copper prices got too low, and copper is what we're going to need to build the future with. So it looks like the market's finally picked up to that. Qualcomm had a great month too. It was up 17%. Its patents got upheld by U.S. courts. Apple basically has thrown in the towel on trying to create its own chips or find somebody else's chips to use. So Qualcomm's now locked in with Apple and Samsung, the two biggest mobile device makers in the world. It was a really great month for our top 10. It was a great month for the portfolio. I really hope you guys got to take some of those gains home with you too. And I think that August is going to be a pretty good month also. Like I said, the markets were rallying all throughout really July, but they really started to take it into high gear after the Federal Reserve came out and raised interest rates by another 0.75%. Now, you would think that higher interest rates would maybe put like a damper on the markets, but basically it was the commentary that Jerome Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve, offered after that the markets really got excited about. And basically he said that after this interest rate hike, it basically puts the Fed funds rate close to neutral. So what that suggests is that maybe they won't need to raise rates more. Maybe they've been able to get ahead of inflation, and maybe they'll be either slowing down or stopping with their rate hikes. Now, the big banks are out there predicting a 50 basis point rate hike, which is 0.5% come the September meeting. But a lot can happen between now and September. So really, basically, the markets heard that, and they were like, hey, maybe all the bad news is priced in. Let's take these stocks higher. Then the GDP print came out the day after that, last Thursday, and that was negative, as I had been predicting. Most of the Wall Street banks were saying that it was going to be positive, that the economy actually grew. The Atlanta Fed had been projecting a 1.6 or a 1.2% contraction. It ended up coming in at negative 0.9%. But the market saw that as a positive also, in one of those good news or bad news is good news type of things where, okay, if we're in a technical recession, maybe the Fed really will stop pumping the brakes on the economy. Maybe it'll get a little bit scared. Maybe it'll blink. Maybe it'll pivot. So that's really why we're running right now. Honestly, I think that this rally has some legs to it, but I think that it's still a bear market rally, and I think it's going to be maybe the last big one that we see before that next, really big leg down. So far, we've had what's known as multiple compression, which is when valuation multiples get smaller because the price goes down. We haven't seen the second half of the equation yet, which is earnings compression. When those earnings start coming down, that's the second half of the recessionary cycle. That's the second half of the recessionary bear market, and that's when stocks are going to drop further. But we're not going to sit out a rally just because we think it's going to end. We're just going to have to pay really close attention to it and, see how strong it is and see when it's starting to peter out. So that being said, we've got 10 new stocks for you for this month. Again, I'm going to do it like I have been recently, where I'm going to go through stocks 10 through 6 for the folks on YouTube. And then we're going to cut off the YouTube video. And if you want to get the top 5, you're going to have to subscribe to the Wealth Advisory. It's only fair. I charge people to get access to these picks, so I can't give them all out for free, but I'm giving you a really good head start with the first 5. So anyway, that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. First up this month at number 10, we have, and this, I just feel like I should say this is all about a spending bill that's getting pushed through Congress right now by the Democrats. We've got Hannon Armstrong. Hannon Armstrong is our sustainable infrastructure company. It's a real estate investment trust. It invests in green energy projects. Its ticker symbol is HASI. And because it invests in green energy, and the Democrats are trying to push through a bill that's got a ton of funding for green energy, I think Hannon Armstrong should be a beneficiary of market excitement around that. Whether it gets money from this bill or not, I think the market's going to get excited, and I think it's going to send the stock up. Also, this is a stock that got sold off after short reports that came out last month that didn't really show any problems with the company or its finances. So I think we've got a really good shot to grab shares at a discount and ride the rally up. So that's our number 10 stock for this month, Hannon Armstrong, sustainable infrastructure. Now, there we go. I'm getting better with this screen, aren't I? Next up, we've got Innovative Industrial Properties. This is another stock that has sold off far too hard the last month, and I really think it's due for a rebound. Innovative, it's our favorite cannabis stock. It should have no problems filling any vacancies caused by tenant troubles. For those of you who haven't heard about Innovative before, it is a cannabis REIT. It's a real estate investment trust that owns properties where companies grow cannabis, process cannabis, sell cannabis. It doesn't touch the plant. It doesn't do anything with cannabis. It just owns the properties and rents them out to them. It reported that one of its bigger tenants was having trouble paying its rent in July, and that really led to a hard sell-off on the stock. But this is really, really, really valuable property, and this is really highly sought-after property. And if that tenant isn't going to be able to pay its rent, there are other tenants who would love to get into those buildings. So I don't think IIPR has a problem here. By the way, that's the ticker symbol. Whoops. Oh, I skipped. There we go. Let's go forward here. There we go. Get my pen back. IIPR, the ticker symbol. And so I don't think IIPR should have any problem filling any vacancies caused by the tenant troubles. They're also working with that tenant to try and see if they can come up with an arrangement where that tenant doesn't have to leave. Also, I mean, this one is about yield. The yield is up there around like 8% right now, and that is just way too high to resist. Everybody should be adding shares to this one. So that's what makes Innovative Industrial Properties our number 9 pick this month. Let's see. Put my pen back on so I don't mess up again. Next up at number 8, we've got CF Industries Holdings. Ticker symbol here is CF. Now, CF Industries is our fertilizer play. It has momentum behind it, and it's been outperforming the market basically all year. It's up 33% year to date, and it's been running this past week as well. So we're going to see if the momentum holds, and we're adding it as our number 8 pick for August, which is going to bring me around to number 7. Moving on to number 7, we're going to go with a somewhat boring play, but I think it could have a lot of profits headed its way in the weeks ahead. I'm talking about Bank of America. Bank of America has a ticker symbol BAC. And what I really like about Bank of America is it's just one of the best run banks out there. It's known for sharing its profits with investors. It rewards them with buybacks, with big dividend bumps. We just got a pretty big dividend bump from them after it passed the stress test. And honestly, banks do better than most stocks in rising rate environments. So let's see if Bank of America can give us some green in August and make it our number 7 pick. And that brings us, there we go. That brings us to our last pick for the YouTube subscribers. And wrapping up the first 5, we've got one of our newer stocks making an appearance. It is Devon Energy. Devon has a ticker symbol DVN, and it's just a great stock. It's completely erased any losses it had over the previous month this past week. It's known for sharing profits with investors through special dividends, and it's been making tons of profits this year. Also, I'm of the opinion that we should be adding hydrocarbons right now while they're in a short-term correction, and I think that we're going to look really smart for that later on. So our number 6 pick this month is Devon Energy Corporation. And that gets us through our first 5. So let's do a little recap here. And what we've got, 10 through 6. Number 10, we've got Hannon Armstrong, Sustainable Infrastructure. That's HASI is the ticker symbol. Coming up next is, if I can tap the screen right, Innovative Industrial Properties, our favorite cannabis stock, ticker symbol IIPR. Number 8 is CF Industries Holdings, a fertilizer play. That's the ticker symbol CF. Coming in at number 7, Bank of America Corporation, our favorite bank. I don't know how you feel if you use them, but it's our favorite bank from an operational standpoint. Ticker symbol BAC. And rounding out the first 5, we've got Devon Energy Corporation. We love Devon for those dividends. It's making a lot of money this year, and it's going to share it with us. So those are our first 5 for this month. For those of you watching on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. I really hope you appreciated it. If you want to get the top 5, numbers 1 through 5, I highly encourage you to sign up for a membership to the Wealth Advisory. You know, it pays for itself really quickly. I mean, you know, you look at the gains that we got last month, and a pretty small investment in just about any of those stocks would have paid for a full year's subscription to the Wealth Advisory. So if you'd like to join us, there's a link in the description below the video. And if you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that bell to make sure you get notified when I post more videos. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.